Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast.
Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming podcast.
I bang with One Up Gaming, drop more hits once I'm famous. The best, that's what our aim is. All platforms, what your game is. To the leaderboards, I'm coming. See me in a shooter, I can promise I'll be gunning. When I hit the music charts, I swear I'm gonna run it. Conte One Up, you can try, but we done it. Let's go. Alright, let's go to the best place for reviews I know. Xbox One and PS4, Wii U as far as consoles go. They do handheld PCs, merchandise for you and me. Contests that you gotta do, the prizes are for gamers who going hard all day. We really the boys cause you're just that great. Can't lose, there's too much at stake. You're a certified badass when you play.
I bang with One Up Gaming. I bang with One Up Gaming.
I bang with One Up Gaming, drop more hits once I'm famous. The best, that's what our aim is. All platforms, what your game is. To the leaderboards, I'm coming. See me in a shooter, I can promise I'll be gunning. When I hit the music charts, I swear I'm gonna run it. Conte One Up, you can try, but we done it. Let's go.
And we're back. It's One Up Gaming, episode 240. It's me, David, and we've got Brian again.
What up, guys?
That sounded too hyper.
Hey, you know me when it comes to talking about games.
Oh, well. What was I going to say? I don't know. Anyway, this week the podcast is sponsored by an album called Games Inspired Music. Just search for it on either like Spotify, the iTunes, or the Google Play Store. Buy that. 10% of all the sales will go to the Child Play charity. So please go and download that album. I think it's only about $5.99, so it's not too bad. Anyway, what have you been playing, Brian?
Well, the latest game just came in my mail, so I want to give a shout out to GameFly for people who don't have GameFly here in the United States. I don't know if it's all over the world, but I know it's here in the United States. It's one of the best rental places for games, for subscription-wise, and they just sent me the new Fire Emblem, Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE, and so I've been playing that. But I'm also still playing Astral Chain, since we reviewed Astral Chain back in December's Game of the Year, because that game, it's hard, but it's not hard. Like, you got a lot of action and a lot of story to go through just to get through to actually learn what's going on in the story, and it's fun. But let's talk about the new FE Encore. A lot of people were asking about it. So, the storyline, the plot starts out where a bunch of pop idols are getting kidnapped and disappearing. Like, they're just disappearing to some unknown dimension. And so, flash forward, your character is friends with a girl whose sister was one of the idols who got disappeared years ago from, like, an opera or something. And so, your job is to try to fight off this evil force. So, not to give spoiler alerts, but spoiler alert, if you haven't played it yet, this is just one little spoiler alert. And sorry about that, guys. At the beginning, you get sucked into this other dimension, whether you go in to try to save your friend, and that's when you find out who's behind it somewhat. But the graphics are once again amazing for a Switch title. I found out after doing some digging, this used to be a Wii U title, I guess, over in Japan, and they brought it to Switch for overseas and over in Europe and everything. They brought it to Switch to play. But it plays like your traditional RPG, where it's turn-based, and you got to pay attention to whose turn it is. But the storyline so far has been unique, considering that one of the first people that you meet is Chrom, and Chrom is from the Fire Emblem series. Basically, if you want my opinion on what this game is, it's basically Persona meets Fire Emblem. It says Atlas Games meets Fire Emblem and crosses over, but the majority of the characters that I'm running into from Atlas Games are from Persona series. The dungeons are designed like a Persona game, so it's pretty much a Persona Fire Emblem crossover.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of a lot of the turn-based sort of RPG sort of systems.
I actually love them because it gives me a chance to actually sit down the Switch in case I have to do something, like if I get called for dinner or I have to check the oven or something like that, or my son gets going crazy, I can sit down the Switch without having to worry about it. But then again, I guess that's why they have the home button so you can pause the game. Although I did play one game on the Switch once where I pushed the home button and it was still playing itself when I came back and I ended up dying. I'm like, how? But it's a really good game. I'm seeing a lot of raves about it. The estimated gaming time to actually beat it is... There it is. It takes, on average, anywhere from 40 to 100 hours, according to the developers. And the cutscenes, the reason I like this game is because the cutscenes are anime. But the drawback, there's one drawback that's a gripe, and I keep complaining about this, and I guess it'll never change. It'll never change unless, we ask enough about it. All the anime-inspired games that come up from Japan, the problem is they're all subtitled. You have to read the subtitles.
Not wrong with reading.
I mean, if I wanted to read the subtitles, I would go get a visual novel on a system and just play that.
Yeah.
But that's been my game. That's been my new game. And I should say I finally returned back to WWE 2K20 because I figured out how to get around the glitch. Now, in news-related gaming news, once again, 2K is one of the worst developers for customer support that I've encountered. Because the foreign support just keeps telling me, oh, great, we've solved your issue. Congratulations. Please tell us how you did it. I do it. I get an email. Check it with another ticket. Can you please provide us a video on how you've accomplished your idea, your going past the glitch? And then it goes, and it goes, and it goes. So, still not really a fan of 2K going forward. They still get a big thumbs down for me for support. They need better support system.
But then again, if the game's selling as well it is, do they really care?
That is a good point. But then again, is it really selling? Because they just reduced the price again.
I'm
going to sell more copies.
Have a new feature after your news, and that's going to be the UK top 10 games this week. And it's still in the top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Huh. I am going to look that up. I'm curious now. Holy cow. You're right. Why?
Because the UK idiots.
Well, I'll say one thing though. Hey, number 1 in UK right now. I'll mention it now because I just saw it, and we'll talk about it afterwards, after the news. But Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, straight in at UK number 1 right now. That's a good thing. I like seeing that. If WWE 2K ever hits number 1 in the UK, smack me upside the head.
It probably did get to number 1 when it first came out.
Pokemon Sword did. Let's see, Pokemon Sword did back in November. Scrolling through. Nope. NBA 2K did, and then the same month that WWE came out, it turns out FIFA 20.
Yeah, that's a big
FIFA
seller.
20 hit. That hit the top. And granted, in the UK, English football is one of the top things anyway.
Yeah, you're
because,
not gonna beat that, are you?
Nope. Even if they give us the crappiest game of the year, still gonna sell because everybody wants to play the latest players. They want to play the latest team updates with the latest tournaments and everything like that. But I heard that we're going to be losing some leagues back over to Konami's PFS, I think it's called, starting next year. I don't know if it's major teams.
It's like, so I'm sure I've heard that the Konami's like PES, Pro Evolution Soccer. I could have sworn one of the PR people said that they might not be doing it at one next year because they've lost some of the licenses and that, and it's saying they're not worth the hassle. But we'll see what happens. There's a long time to go between now and April, sort of March next year when they'll announce the new one, if they're doing one.
Well, from what I'm seeing in the news, they're saying that they want to do PES 2021, but they only want to do it on next-gen consoles. Because it says it gives them more maneuverability to add more features, because apparently the new discs are supposed to have twice as much or 4 times as much disk space that we already have now. Which is great. And if they make the new systems backwards compatible, that's another great thing. But can we please talk about the energy requirements for these systems? I mean, seriously, they're supposed to be going energy efficient, and instead I saw that the PlayStation 5 alone is going to suck up a lot of energy. The Xbox One X alone, not X, but Xbox 2, whatever it is going to double its energy requirements, which means energy bills are going to go through the roof starting next year.
Oh, well, you need to pay the liquid-cooled or the gas-cooled chambers.
Who knows? Who knows what can happen from now until the end of the year? But let's talk about this week's disappointment. 2 disappointments over here on my end.
Well, like I said, are you going into news or?
Yeah, it's news.
We've not discussed my games.
It is news on my end, but let's talk about you first.
Yes, because I like to have little tiny segments, and I put little bits of music between the segments. Otherwise, I get lost when I'm trying to edit it all. So anyway, the games I've been playing over the last sort of week or two, as we've not had a podcast for a while. First game I bought in the sale, the Ace Combat 7, and it looks truly stunning. Absolutely beautiful game. I tried it with the VR headset, and oh my god, does that game make you feel sick after a while. Because I think all of them make you feel a little bit sick, all these VR bloody games. But yes, I would easily recommend Ace Combat. I'm not sure how much it is now, but I think I paid about £20 for it, so that's not too bad. Another VR game which I got for about £12 was Blood and Truth, which I think is made by the Sony London sort of studio who did like The Getaway and stuff. So it's very much like gangstery sort of London, Cockney, shouty, sweary, first person sort of shooter game. Again, it's alright, but again, after about 20 minutes you just feel a little bit dizzy and sick. But I think it's one of the better VR sort of games as a full game, not just like as an experience. It actually feels more like a game. But yeah, so that's really good fun. I'm going to miss that one out because I'll come back to that one. There was a game on the PC called Filament, which is, it looks like an indie sort of game. It's a puzzle top-down game where you're a space captain and you board a ship that's all its power's been shut off, and you have to go room to room, and in each room there's little stacks, and you have to get your power cable to touch each one in order and be able to get back out of the exit to power the room. And you can't cross over your own power cable, and you've got to hit each one in the right order. And it's really good. It's a fun little game. I don't know how much it was, but it's a good little game. If you like puzzle games, it's fun. I got to about level 10 and I just had to give up because I'm really crap at puzzle games. The next game, I had to download it. I had to have a quick go. It's called Wanking Simulator, and it's like a first person. Imagine, do you know like the games like the Goat Simulator sort of thing, where it's just mental open world and you actually walk around and just smash things and hit things? That's this game, but they've added like the wanking animation to the main character when you press a button, and that's basically it. So yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend that or not. It's just weird. I've played some mobile games, so Jumanji Epic Run, just like a 3D behind the character run into the screen, like the Crash Bandicoot sort of games. But it's very basic, not very good. I wouldn't recommend that. There's the PDC Darts, so like the official darts game, and that's one of these, like you go onto the game and you're playing against a real person with darts, and it looks amazing for a mobile game, but I just didn't have fun with it. And the next one was called Bowling Crew, and again you play against other people and you just bowl, and that was quite fun. I even got the developer messaging me on the YouTube saying thank you for featuring the game. So that was nice of him.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
And then I've got 3 games that, if we hold off this podcast until Sunday, which it should go up on Sunday, I can talk about them because they're embargoed until Friday. So they're embargoed till Sunday.
Well, you can at least You can at least mention them though, because I know people are probably curious as what to expect on Sunday.
The first game is called Sisters Royale. It was a PS4 game. I'm not sure what else it's on. All these are for PS4 that I've played. I'm sure they're all for Xbox One, Switch, and things like that. But Sisters Royale, it's a vertical shoot 'em up. But it's weird because there's 5 sisters, and they've all got magical powers. And when you're reading through the text at the beginning, is that there's an evil overlord, and it took all 5 sisters to join forces to destroy the overlord. But the sisters decided that they hated each other, so they wouldn't fight together. And then all of a sudden, they all come back together about 20 years later, and they're actually all in love with one guy. So they're all fighting each other to get the attention of this one man. And it's just mental. You pick a character, and then you just basically sort of play through the levels, and each end of boss level is one of the other sisters. You have to like fight him and stuff. It's just mental as hell. It plays well. It looks nice. But that
I just looked it up. It did come out on Switch, and the graphics, from what I'm seeing, looks like one of those gun hell games.
It's a bullet hell sort of game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Bullet hell. And for people who are wondering when this comes out on Sunday, as soon as you get this, the estimated price from what I'm seeing here, if I can get it, doesn't tell me. Okay.
I think it'll only be about £20 or $20, something like that.
It does have add-on. It does have an add-on that's coming out too the same day.
Yeah, I got sent the DLC code, but it didn't work, so I'm not bothered about that anyway. Right? But I love bullet hell games, and it's weird. The story and everything is just weird. It plays really well, but it is just weird. It's like you have like your normal shoot button, you have a special button, and you have your super power button. And you build up your powers as you go, dodge enemy fire, and it is really good. It's just bat crazy mental. So the next game that I'm not allowed to talk about until Sunday is Monster Energy Supercross the official video game 3. And this is just basically like a Supercross game made by Milestone, who used to do a lot of like, I think they used to have the official rally license a few years ago. So with this one, for me, your bike is too twitchy. So as you turn around a corner, your bike either doesn't turn enough, or it just completely flips out and goes completely the wrong way. And it's very not able to be consistent in how I want it to handle. But then again, I've never been a great motorbike racer. I love me like Formula 1 and me Forza sort of series. But bike games, I've never been great at them. But graphically, it looks amazing. It's on the PS4. It looks amazing. There's no slowdown. There's no juddering. Because I got the second game sent for the Switch last year, and it was a disgrace. It ran at half speed. There was glitching. It was like just like complete slowdown all the time. So, but I mean, like I say, it might be one of these games that you have to give it another like 10 or 15 laps to get used to the handling of the bikes. So that one, again, I'm on the fence. I'll have to play more of that. The next game is called Ash of Gods Redemption, and this I'd never heard of. I would have sent you the code, but they only had discs, so they sent out a physical disc. It's a turn-based sort of like strategy RPG sort of game. So again, not my sort of game. The beginning intro, it uses like a full hand-drawn like anime cartoon sort of beginning sequence, and there's blood, gore, heads getting chopped off. It's like setting not quite the sort of the Viking sort of time, but like it looks similar to like the Roman sort of, like they had like the armors and stuff, like the metal platings and stuff and swords, and it looks amazing. It's like all hand drawn, animated. You can zoom in, zoom out, and the only problem I had with it is because I'm not used to these sort of games. You can set it to story, so you just have to click on the stories, because it's got the same sort of thing as what, like, say, like Mass Effect, where you choose certain dialogue options and it completely changes the game as you go. Or you can set it to the normal sort of game where you change the story and you have to do the turn-based strategy sort of stuff.
It's pretty much like Astral Chain. What I did, I turned it to Unchained mode, because Unchained mode is pretty much you just play the story, you solve the puzzles, and then most of the mechanics of the battle system is done for you.
Yeah, I think that's how I would play this game. I'd go back onto the story mode and just play the actual story mode and let the computer do the battles and stuff. But graphically, it's one of those games that if you're not looking at it properly, you think, oh, that looks a bit crap. But when you get zoomed in and that, it all looks hand animated. It looks really nice. The only problem I had with it is, which I think you mentioned it before we started recording, but it's all subtitled. It doesn't actually have... It's got talking on some of the intro bits and things like that, but when you're doing the dialogue options, it just has the character sort of stood there going, and then it switches to the other character and they go, and you have to read all the dialogue to see what, and I'd much rather it if they got some voiceover actors to actually record the voiceover bits. But again, it looks quite I wouldn't say a cheap budget game, but it looks quite a low indie sort of game. So they probably didn't have the funds to get that sorted.
You know what's funny is that, think about, there's people out there who are indie style, and they're doing like voiceovers for Skyrim DLC that fans are creating. So, independent developers, if you're listening to this, a lot of times there's kids at colleges and things like that you can actually find that will do the voiceovers for you, just to get some experience, and they won't charge you anything. So that's my opinion. They should have voiceovers. But then again, in some of the games like Astral Chain, I skip through a lot of the voiceovers because that's the story. It's like long-winded.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when I was playing the game, I was just pressing the X, then the circle to get out of it. So I weren't really that bothered with the actual story itself. So that is all the games that I've been playing. So, should we move on to some news?
Well, I've still been playing a little bit of Control as well, but I did recently go back to the Elder Scrolls because, hey, for those of you that still play Skyrim, there's a new DLC out that just popped out, fan-made, as I was talking about earlier, and it's a whole brand new area. They keep adding stuff for this. Haven't tested it yet, but man, it feels good to use mods in Skyrim. If you haven't tried the Skyrim experience with mods, it's really easy. You just get the enhanced edition of Skyrim on Steam, I believe, or any sort of a PC way, and then you just go on there and there's a mod section. Sign up for your Bethesda account and start downloading different mods. Make sure you read the fine print, but it's fun to play that with mods. That's pretty much been my game besides World of Warcraft. The new patch just dropped, which I'm going to talk about in the news.
Yep. Right then, so what news have we got? Because I've got nothing.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm the developer of Per Rocket, an iOS space game with cats. And I listen to the One Up Gaming podcast. You can find a link to download my game at facebook.com/PerRocket.
And now, it's this week's news with One Up Gaming.
Okay, first piece of news. Let's start with the fun. Actually, no, it's not going to be fun. I don't think any of the news is going to be fun except for this. For those of you Atari fans out there, Atari is planning on opening up a video game-themed hotel in the United States. And Chicago is going to be the first city. They want to expand to other cities like Phoenix, Arizona. They're going to try to do all sorts of stuff. But they said Atari is trying to make a comeback, and so they want to plan Austin, Denver, Las Vegas, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle. Basically, each room will be a fully immersive experience for gamers with virtual and augmented reality systems at each location, and each room will be game-themed to a certain Atari game. Let's hope that they don't have any ET-themed Atari
Oh, you have
gamers.
to. You have to. In the basement level,
Try to escape the game coming after you.
You have to play before you actually exit the building.
That would be cool. I mean, I've always dreamed of opening my own arcade/restaurant because there's too many arcades and bars, and I always thought about opening my own arcade restaurant, but you need the funds to do that and all that. So that's news number one. News number two, good news. Bethesda's actually doing a 24-hour sale to help fight the Australian bushfires. If you go on Bethesda.net or the Humble Store, all proceeds, 33% off. All proceeds will, it says all proceeds, I think, will go towards fighting the Australian bushfires. I feel sorry for all my friends down in Australia. It's still raging war down there against those fires.
Yeah, it's quite amazing.
We got some news on the PlayStation Plus side of things for those PlayStation gamers. BioShock the Collection and Sims 4 is coming next month. And
So,
I know that
what games are on the BioShock the Collection?
BioShock 1, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite, plus all the DLC for every game.
That sounds quite good.
Yeah, I know. My best friend Nikki was always over here saying, "Hey, what happened to your BioShock collection? Didn't you have that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I had it for PC. It got deleted from my PC, and I can't figure out where I bought it from." This pops up. I'm like, "Hey, now I can finally sit through and play all of them again with the DLC that I missed." And she's like, "Oh, good." I'm like, "Yeah, do it with the lights off, because that's where the fun comes." BioShock 2, I believe, is my favorite.
I mean, like, I played the first one and I loved it. Second one, I played a little bit and got bored. And Infinite, I think I played the first 5-10 minutes and just turned it off. I get easily bored with games.
I'm the same way, but I decided to force myself through to try to beat the damn story, and I did. And spoiler alert, most people have already beaten this game. For those of you that know the ending, I'm not going to give it away, but for those of you that do know the ending to BioShock Infinite, terrible.
Oh, it's nice.
Terrible. You know, I sat there for about 40 hours and I got to the ending. I'm like, wait, that's the ending you give me? This is like a Mass Effect ending of Mass Effect 3 where you had to patch in a different ending because, yep, that's all I get to say about Infinite because it wasn't that great. A lot of people said it was. For those people who have played the game Code Vein, it's coming out with their first DLC, adding a new boss. There's going to be a whole bunch of new features added. I haven't actually gotten around to playing Code Vein yet because I've got so many games on my radar, it's not funny. Like I'm still trying to, like I said earlier, I'm trying to beat the new FE Encore Fire Emblem Dance Pop Idol RPG game, which I love.
Sounded way too many words then.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe the game yet because I haven't fully got into it. Let's just say it's a JRPG for people of pop music who love pop music and who are, I guess there's a mode in there where you can have your main character wear glasses because apparently some people are infatuated with people with glasses. So it gives you that option at the beginning of the game and it actually explains the different options of why you would want glasses versus why you wouldn't want glasses. I'm scratching my head like, you put that in a video game. That's weird.
Yeah, it sounds... Then again, though, I mean, look at that that game that I was playing, that Sisters Royale. That's just random as anything, just weird.
Sometimes I like when games get random, but then sometimes I don't because it's kind of hard to, figure out storylines and things like that. It's like, hey, in other news, though, we just had the worst launch of a game, again, ever. Blizzard just recently came out with their real-time strategy remake of Warcraft 3, and people are complaining all over Twitter, they're complaining all over Facebook, they're complaining all over the forums, including Reddit, that this game was half finished when it came out. Like the whole intro sequence, people are saying it's bad. You can't even complete the intro sequence in some games.
Yeah, that's fun. Always a good start.
There's no ability to join your friends. There's no ability to do matchmaking because it keeps kicking you out. The servers are, I guess, crap. And to create your own maps, that's not even accessible to some people. So Blizzard's having a rough start over here because Blizzard, for those of you that don't know, Blizzard's owned by Activision. Blizzard sold out to Activision years ago to help fund their company to keep World of Warcraft and other games going. And now they've even mentioned that they regret it sometimes, from time to time in interviews. But they had a rocky start for that. They're nerfing several Overwatch characters. That people that play Overwatch are wondering why their favorite characters are getting nerfed, so they're not as powerful as they once was, and they basically don't play as those characters anymore. And talk about one of my favorite games of all time, MMO-wise, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft just dropped patch 8.3 earlier this month. Patch 8.3 is supposed to be the end game for Battle for Azeroth. Patch 8.3 also added in multiple endings for certain people, I guess, according to the way that they're translating it all over the forums. People are saying, hey, I kind of got a different ending, and they're talking about the different endings and how things, how you interpret the ending for yourself. But a lot of people are angry once again because Blizzard just cut half their staff. From what I'm seeing in the news, they cut half their staff. So they're pretty much powerless to Activision at this point, and Activision's rushing and pushing things out faster, which kind of has me scared because, as I just said, and as you know from me being on these podcasts, World of Warcraft has been a game I'm passionate about. I run a guild on a server called Wyrmrest Accord here in the States, and with everything going on, it's sad seeing the state of things because Shadowlands is supposed to come out later this year. And there was also supposed to be a patch 8.3.5, which is supposed to be like the Mass Effect fix. But Activision told them they can't. 8.3 is the end. So now it's just become a grindy grind of daily quests again, picking up quests every day, doing the same quests over every day to try to get gear, to try to get better gear, to try to get better gear, while biding your time to wait for the next expansion to come out. I wouldn't say it's a full disappointment, but it's really sad. It's really sad for being an avid World of Warcraft player as many years as I have, seeing this kind of stuff. And then we go to the saddest news of all. And I know David's going to have some comments to say, even though he's not a Pokemon fan. Hey, David, don't you love it when games you love for so many years actually decide, oh, we're going to go to the paywall. We're going to do a paywall thing now in order to unlock certain features within a game?
It's always the best way.
Pokemon Company. I didn't pay anything. My best friend bought us both the Sword and Shield double pack. Sword and Shield costs $60 a piece in the States. Plus tax, depending on where you live. And now they're coming out with the expansion pack, which I'm excited about, which is around $30 or so in the States. I don't know how that equivalates to pounds, but that's good. But then they just announced Pokemon Home, which is coming next month. Now, when they had something similar on the 3DS back years ago, it was called Pokemon Bank, and it was $4.99 a year to just transmit and put your Pokemon in there, and you could transmit them to other games from that bank to the later games. Well, now the bank is becoming Home. Bank still exists, but now they got Home coming out, and it's going to allow you to deposit. They're going to have a freemium and a paid version. The freemium version is going to allow you to have up to 30 Pokemon in the Home, just 30. And you can still do certain features, but you won't be able to do all the features. And they're going to have the National Pokedex back that people have been complaining about. But if you want to use the full effect of the National Pokedex, you're going to have to pay behind the paywall in order to unlock all the features in order to trade with your friends, trade on the go. And that's not the worst part. I mean, this is a good idea, but not a good idea. Pokemon Home is going to be on your Switch, so you have to have it on your Switch, but you also have to have it on your mobile phone.
Yeah, but everyone's got a mobile phone.
Yeah, but should you have to have two copies of the same thing? Like, should you have to go and use your Switch to transfer the Pokemon into the Switch version and then go on your mobile phone in order to get rid of them?
Yeah, but you know why that is, don't you? It's so then they can say to the investors on the calls, oh, look at this. Instead of it saying we've got 2 billion people downloaded the app, they can sort of say we've got 3 billion people because they have to download it twice.
That is a good way of looking at it, but I still don't like the idea of having to pay $60 for a game, and then pay $30 for DLC, and then pay $15 for a little app that goes with it. That's 60, 70, 80, 90. That's almost $100. That's past $100. So basically, I paid $100 for a game.
That's not too
But
bad.
then again, Call of Duty does it every year. $60 for the game, $40 for the battle pass or whatever it is. Season passes.
Yeah, but it's like with that sort of game, I can understand because, well, I wouldn't buy I'd just play like the single player bit. I don't play the online. But if you buy the game to play the online, then it's worth paying the £40 for the extra maps and the extra missions and stuff.
Yeah, especially if you have no friends. If you have no friends to trade with, I understand we'd go with that. But if you have friends, they did say that you can trade with your friends who actually has the game, and they can send you their game Pokemons in later games back to you. So I guess that is a plus. But I just don't like how they do those kind of things because it's sad. It really is.
Yeah, I get you. I really do. It's annoying.
Oh, we're sorry. We forget to put something in your game. Up here. Pay us money and we'll put it back in your game for you. But that's definitely all the news that I have, at least as far as I know on my end.
Right, so if there's no more news, we will move off to the briefly sort of like highlighted the UK top 10. And these are the top 10 ending the week of January the 26th, so a couple of days ago now. So we'll go from 20 to number 1. And as I say the name of the game, tell me if you know the game or not. So these are the top 20 games in the UK. WarioWare Gold.
Yep.
So I know of WarioWare, but I didn't know there was one released for the. I don't know what it's for. If it's for the Game Boy or the DS, or if it's for the Switch or what. But then there's Resident Evil 2. I know that. Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training for the Nintendo Switch is 18. Rugby 20 is at 17. Then there's WWE 2K20 at 16.
Yeah, I know that one.
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled at 15. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 14. I'm getting sick of their names now. It's the new version of a deluxe version of a game that came out about 5 years ago. So it's not really new.
It is a good game, though.
Yeah,
it is for Switch fans who didn't have the Wii U.
Yeah, you're not really a Nintendo fan if you didn't buy the system. Anyway, I don't like Nintendo. 13, Pokemon Sword. So, is Sword the bigger seller? Because Shield's not on this list. It's just Sword.
Yeah, I was looking it up. They said that the most UK fans bought Sword, and they said they managed to sell at least a couple thousand of Shield, but Sword sold over 10,000 copies.
It's weird, isn't it? I guess people just like to hit things with swords. So, number 12, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Game of the Year Edition.
On Switch?
It just says Game of the Year Edition, so it'll be like all of them together, I'd bet.
Okay. That's definitely a good game, and if you haven't seen the Witcher Netflix series, that's out.
I was going to watch that the other day.
It's actually pretty good. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, and I thought Witcher was actually, in my opinion, The Witcher beat Game of Thrones.
But it's like, I just finished watching the Mandalorian.
Which is also another great series.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I loved that series. But anyway, before I get shouted at. Number 11, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics Tokyo 2020.
Yep.
Number 10, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Number 9, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number 8, Luigi's Mansion 3. Number 7, I have no idea why, but Just Dance 2020. It must make Ubisoft millions. Number 6...
They keep coming out with them.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Number 5, FIFA 20. Number 4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That must be raking in the money as well. I mean, there's a lot of these Nintendo Switch games that have been out for a very long time that are still in the top 10. And this one I can't believe. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, what is that now? It must be about 7 years old? 6 years old?
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, they keep adding DLC to it, though, for the Grand Theft Auto Online, so...
Yeah.
Can't say the same for Red Dead Redemption, though.
No. So number 2, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
So it fell down to number 2. All right.
Yep.
Drum
and
roll, please. Let's
number
hear what
1.
number 1 is.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Wow.
It was at number 2 last week. It's now gone back up to 1.
Wow. That is a shocker.
Why is it a shocker?
Because Call of Duty went back into first place again. Because it was first place over here in the States, too, for a while. And then it just dropped.
I know why it's gone to number 1 again. Because it just released new DLC for it.
Meanwhile, Battlefield 5, if you notice, was not on the list.
Yeah, but I'm not even sure when Battlefield 5 was ever in the list.
It's never been on the list. It's never been in the top list.
No,
Battlefield has fallen.
It will have been at some point, but yeah, Battlefield and all that sort of stuff, I think it has a decent couple of weeks and then it just falls. Whereas a lot of the other ones, like the Call of Duty, FIFA, all them lot, it's weird. It's the same sort of games that have been up on the list for weeks and weeks and weeks. There's not many that come in and stay. Well, yeah, so that's the UK Top 10 list. I think that will do for the podcast, episode 240. So I will just sort of say, before we go, hopefully by the time this goes up, the new website will be up, so you can find us at oneupgaming.co.uk. We are on Patreon, so patreon.com/OUG. We have official merchandise at bluecyborg.com. We have the music CD available to buy on the App Store and all the other stores. Games-inspired music. Oh, I was wrong. It's actually 20% of each sale goes to Child's Play charity. We have our first 100 podcasts available as a... It looks like a little cassette, but it's like a USB stick. And that's available at audiobooksontape.com. That's £9, and £1 of that will go to Diabetes UK. We have new Amazon links on the website, so if you buy any games or anything from Amazon, just go onto the website, click on the link, and we'll get a couple of pound for advertising and for you guys going through the links. We're on Facebook, just search 1UP Gaming. We're on YouTube, just search 1UP Gaming. We're on Twitch, just go to twitch.tv/OUG Official. We're on Twitter, so tweet us at OUG Official. I will try and get our email address back up again, so contact at oneupgaming.co.uk. Unfortunately, I'll let all these things expire, so I have to pay about £300 to get everything up and running again. The podcast itself, just download us on any podcast app that you have. Just search 1UP Gaming. We're on to episode 240. Please subscribe, give 5 stars, positive feedback. It really helps ranking and getting our podcast up in the sort of the search lists. So that is episode 240 done and dusted. So thank you, Brian.
No problem. And if any of you guys want to see any Let's Play videos from us, don't forget to drop it on the comment section of the website once it's up.
I think it'll be easier if you just sort of tweet us. That way, I know for definite the Twitter still works. Just send us a tweet, anything you want to know, and if we get questions, we'll answer questions. I've still got them. They might be upstairs. I've moved a few times. I've still got a list of about 1,000 games that I can give away. So anyone got any questions for us, I'll send out some Steam codes for questions. I've even got a 3DS code on this list. I don't even know if it works or not. But anyway, so thank you, Brian. It's been me, David, and Brian for the 1UP Gaming.
As always.
Yep, thank you. Goodbye.
And see you guys next time.
Do you have trouble sleeping? Tossing and turning all night? Nothing you do seems to help. You're not getting your recommended 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Well, now there's a solution. Now there's Fat Cat Fly. With Fat Cat Fly, you'll easily get the sleep that you deserve. Download for free on the iOS App Store, and you're guaranteed to get a good night's sleep with very few side effects, as you help a fluffy kitty eat all the junk food that he wants.
Side effects may include sleeplessness and desire for cheeseburgers. If erection lasts more than 5 hours, see a physician. Try Fat Cat Fly today. Visit facebook.com/fatcatfly because you deserve a better life. Hi, Justin the Voice here. First of all, we'd like to thank you for listening. Seriously. We really like it when you listen. Yes. But if you'd like to do more than just listen, if you'd like to help us out, well, we have an idea just for you. Visit our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG. Your monthly micropayment will help us keep going all night long, baby. Oh yeah. Mostly because we usually record at night. Yeah. But don't worry, baby. We got something for you, too. We've got special benefits for all of our Patreon subscribers. Yeah. Again, that's www.patreon.com/OUG.
Go baby, go baby, go baby, go baby. I love you, said I love you. Never put nothing above you. Won't let go once I can hug you on the floor. They hate because you let them know that you the ish. Now they hating not because you at the club and proving it. And so they choosing it too late cause now they using it. Can't wait from how you doing it. I know that they pursuing it. You will kindly tell them now my baby's here to watch me go. And for him I put on a show. You just blessed to be here so. My baby goes on. Her body rolls on. I tell her hold on. We making love with clothes on. Been on it so long. I think we gotta go. Hit my grown man on. You know that I love you so. Just go, baby, go now. Go now. Baby, go now. Go now. Baby, go now. Baby, go now. Just go, baby, go now. Go now. I love when you go for me. I love when you go for me. I love when you go for me. Say I love when you go for me. 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 Say I love when you go for me.
I tell my baby go, but she's not even going though. It's the trust I have in her. Tell us what you say to her. Yeah, I'm feeling kinda slick. I'm loving how I swim in it. No, I'm not taming her. The only one engraving it. Sign it still right from her lips. You need to know that she's my miss. Treat her like a treasure though. I never wanna let her go. I keep her right in front of me. My heart she will forever be. I do this so she'll never see. Life with me no misery. You deserve the world, my queen. Yeah, I'm back down on one knee. A boy to a man that you have seen. No matter who's wrong, it's you and me. I'm coming for you, baby, so we can stay happy. I'm trying to work so hard for you and me. Go, baby, go now.
Go baby, go.
Baby, go.
Go baby, go baby, go baby, go.
Baby, go.
Ha.
Go, baby, go.
Go baby, go.
Baby, go now.
Just go, baby, go now.
I love when you go for me.
Go for me.
I love when you go for me. I love when you go for me. Say I love when you go for me. 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 Say I love when you go for me.
Say my baby's so bad, she can get it so glad that she loves me, know that. I'm a hubby so sad, say you looking so mad. Oh, you didn't know that. Next time you should check the ring. I know that one's a throwback. I know you see her flashing it, especially when she gets it low. I'm rubbing on and grabbing it. I tell my girl, go ahead and go.
Baby, go now. Baby, go now. Go, baby, go now. Baby, go now. Go, baby, go now. Baby, go now. I love when you go for me. I love when you go for me. I love when you go for me. Say I love when you go for me. 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 Say I love when you go for me.
Yo, go baby, go. Just
L G E.
yeah, LGE. Saint and Conte, get it.
We got it. We got it. We we got it.